What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are reacting to some creepy TikToks that will make you rethink your reality.
Alera gugutante. Mortáculo.
When does that guy come up? Like, I haven't seen him come up, and I'm from Africa, but I've never seen this kind of mining. Tell me down in the comment section below, what kind of mining is this?
This is the most terrifying prison in the world, the Black Dolphin prison in Russia. In this prison, prisoners cannot eat together. Meals are delivered by guards through a small window. If a prisoner needs to leave the cell, they must walk bent over at a 90-degree angle. When taken out, they must be blindfolded, so they have no idea what the prison looks like. The only thing they are familiar with is their own small cell. The ratio of guards to prisoners is 1-to-1. For centuries, no one has ever escaped from this prison. The only way out is death. Life in the prison is a form of torture. Prisoners cannot lie down during the day. They must stand. At night, they cannot turn off the lights. They are monitored 24 hours a day, so blocking the light is not allowed. Even covering the head is prohibited. All actions are under surveillance. Prisoners serving more than 10 years can watch TV. There is no freedom in this prison, especially for those serving life sentences. It's like living in hell. What are your thoughts on this?
I was born on the 13th.
Is this a coincidence? I think not, but you tell me.
I turned 13 on Friday the 13th. My first album went gold in the US in 13 weeks. Every time I've won an award at an award show, I've been seated in row M, which is the 13th letter, or like the 13th seat, or the 13th row, or the 13th section. It's really a good number.
Wait, hold on, there's more.
You guys know what Super Bowl this is? It's 58. You know what 5 plus 8 is? 13. It's Taylor Swift's album called 13.
Yo! Dang!
You guys know the date of the Super Bowl?
It's the 11th.
Of?
February.
It's 11 plus 2.
Yo!
Who are they playing?
The 49ers.
It's 4 plus 9.
Dude, come on. 13.
Just saying. What seed are the 49ers?
The 1 seed.
What seed are the Chiefs?
The 2 seed.
No, the 3.
1 and 3. 13. This dude is so stupid.
Where's Taylor Swift coming from? She's coming from Tokyo to the Super Bowl.
What does that mean?
A flight from Tokyo to Las Vegas.
13 hours.
13 hours. And I'm not even kidding.
What the
You know how many games Taylor Swift has been to?
13?
12.
This is the 13th?
The Super Bowl will be the 13th.
Is this all true?
Yeah, no, this is all for real. Brock Purdy's jersey number is 13, so that's 8. The funny thing is, in numerology, 13 actually symbolizes good luck. If you made it this far, there's absolutely no way you watched all of that and thought to yourself, that's just...
Patrick Mahomes threw for 333 yards. The address of the stadium was 3333. They won by 3 by a 3-yard touchdown catch by McCole Hardman, who in the beginning of the season, a mentalist predicted that he would win the Super Bowl. Granted, he was on the Jets, but the Chiefs picked him up and he won the game-winning catch.
Who do you see the Jets playing in this year's Super Bowl? Say it.
49ers.
49ers. I'm putting you on the spot here. We're going to win. We know we're going to win. What's the final score going to be?
31-21.
Yeah, because when all the pieces come together in a season, it can be absolute perfection, folks. Because that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Jets and the 49ers 49ers!
There was also a wild coincidence with the number 13 in the Super Bowl and Taylor Swift. You just can't make any of this up. Just look at these. Also, how is no one talking about the helicopter crash where a Nigerian bank CEO and the former chairman of the Nigerian Stock Exchange crashed in California on their way to the Super Bowl where there were no survivors? And to top that all off, this was the most viewed telecast since the moon landing in 1969.
I just have to say, like, look into things like gematria and understand what these numbers means. I don't think it's a coincidence. Or tell me your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you think all of this is just a coincidence?
The same thing that happened in Hawaii happened in Chile. Why isn't nobody talking about it? Just pay attention.
That doesn't look normal.
Listen to what she's saying. Look at the caption. The same thing that had happened in Hawaii. That's the same thing somebody else said when the stuff happened in Hawaii. They thought it was a hurricane.
This isn't normal.
This is crazy.
Necesitamos ayuda, alimentos para las mascotas, los útiles, ropa ya, no sé, porque mi casa perdí todo.
Chile ha decretado el estado de excepción por catástrofe ante la gran...
Check it out. Look just like the footages from Hawaii. From Hawaii.
Looks like this is going to come to the mainland on the U.S.
It's all seem familiar, right? They've been using these direct energy machines. This is crazy.
Reality glitches caught on camera.
I just found this ring in a box. I'm like, oh shit, my ring fell off. No, it didn't. It's the same. I'm shaking. It's so weird.
I'm losing my mind right now and I need someone to tell me if I'm crazy. Have you seen those videos where people are like, I'm stuck in the matrix, my life is glitching out? Can somebody please explain to me how I'm sitting here doing my little thing, making TikToks. I'm looking on my desk and I see this. What the hell is this? What is this? Because it looks like it's my nails, right? Girl, I've got all my nails. And I want to specify, this is the first time I have ever had this design. Ever. But that's definitely what that is, right? Even the other side of it looks like when you rip acrylics off. The girlies know what I mean. Do I just throw this away and act like this never happened? I'm kind of really freaked out right now, but I'm trying to stay calm and come up with some kind of solution as to why the fuck this would be here. Tell me that's not a nail. Do I need to give this to the government for investigation? If you could come up with some kind of solution for what this is and convince me that it is not a nail, let me know.
I think we're stuck in the matrix. It's sort of a simulation being run, but not in the kind of way we think.
Bindet mal an seinem Finger und das macht er mit Absicht, um aufmerksam zu
simuliere überhaupt keine Scheiße.
Gucken Sie mal irgendwo. Ja, aber das kann schon passieren. Ihr Blut jetzt zum Beispiel auch. Also da ist halt spannend.
It's just snake. Come on.
Europe is not a continent. It's a small part of Eurasia. And yet, for the longest time, and probably up until today, you believed it. And if you talk with people outside of this gathering, and you ask them, so how many continents are there? They'll say 7, and they'll rattle it off. And then you'll say, no, Europe isn't a continent. Oh, yes, it is. Because they learned it in the 5th grade. And they learned it well, but they learned it incorrectly. There are 6 huge bodies of land. And you probably thought, North America, South America, and then you get to Europe and Asia. And Europe and Asia is one landmass. Continent, I used to teach geography. A continent is a huge body of land separated from others, or almost separated. Europe is not separated. But probably in school you learned that Europe and Asia are separated by the Ural Mountains. Check out Mr. Webster. He says nothing about a mountain separating continents. But we have come to believe that Europe is a continent because Europeans told us it was a continent. That in itself is part of the concept of whiteness. Europe is not a continent.
I think we have to relearn a lot of things we've been taught. Like, things don't work the way we think they do.
Eyes which goes to your pineal, and the photons that come on those angles of light carry messages, and it happens when you close your eyes. Your pineal is stimulated when you close your eyes. Now the powers that be don't want you to use it, and thus we've all heard of calcification. You can decalcify your pineal gland. So the Vatican know of this knowledge. They truly know of it. They cannot not know of it. And the pine cone sits on the staff of the Pope also. I've mentioned this before. What is this pineal gland that everyone's talking about, and what happens when you trigger it or activate it in meditation, as people always ask? Well, the pineal gland is a very interesting organ in your body, or gland as it is, and it's actually filled with fluid, and surrounded around there are very similar structures to that of the retina of the eye. Now, something which is very, very interesting about the pineal is that it's connected to the same sensory visual part of your brain as what your two eyes are. Now, inside this fluid, they say there are small crystals. And of course the pineal...
You're talking about in the 1930s, you would go to the movie theater, they would show these shorts before films. It was called Baby Burlesque. It would be like Shirley Temple, a bunch of other little babies, little 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and they'll all be in this bar scene. She's dressed in like burlesque dancer clothes. She's 3 years old. Mm-hmm. And then there's like the boy babies are in there trying to court her, and she's like, you know, you can't afford me, all this stuff, like craziness. Wow. And when you look at that, and then you look at the concepts of the films that she was in after that, like even the dance numbers like were really suggestive, and like there was a lot of like sexual stuff in there. It was weird, and you never think about it
that
when you're
a child
younger.
should not be doing.
Yeah, it made it seem so normal. But when you go back and watch that, it's like, yo, this isn't normal. Like, you know, she's singing Good Ship Lollipop, and there's all these dudes carrying her around, and it's like weird, you know what I mean? But Hollywood has always had that weird, you know, we've seen documentaries, we've heard stories about, and we've been there. So it's like, we kind of experienced the weirdo stuff. So
like an ancient, real Stargate, three-dimensional Stargate. It's not something that was recreated by the...
We will then now take you on a trip.
Great, I'd love to take a trip.
Machine.
Yes.
Before we do that, let's explain how it works.
Okay.
Notice around the room we got 1, 2, 3, 4 speaker boxes.
Uh-huh.
They are connected to vacuum tube amplifiers of my special design. I call it the quantum well design. The quantum physics I deal with is the physics of electrons and light going between the parallel realities. We have 7 parallel realities, which we're one of. This physical reality we can touch.
Oh, you mean like 7 different Earth worlds?
These were found buried in the woods.
That seems to me like an old wine pot, or I don't know what it could be, but I'm thinking it's wine.
Somebody have a heart attack at the wheel?
For the past couple of weeks, there have been several videos of ships crashing into places, just like you see in the movie Leave the World Behind. But I guess that one of the creepiest and strangest videos of all is this one that I'm going to show you guys right now. Check this out.
Oh, they're gonna go right over them, dude. They're down. They're down.
Strange, right? There are divers down there. They can't get out of there. And, well, it's strange enough, but it gets even stranger.
Hey, assholes! There's nobody in there. There's nobody in there. There's nobody on deck. There's nobody in the wheelhouse.
Check this out.
Divinity is not far enough to describe what we are trying to do. Now we are much better than the God of the Bible. I mean, in the Bible you have these recurring droughts that the people of Israel do something wrong, gods become angry, drought, no water. And now Israel has built in recent years a huge desalinization factory on the shores of the Mediterranean. And most drinking water in Israel today actually come from these plants, from these factories. So we can make God as angry as we like. I mean, he can stop the rains, we don't care. We still have water because science has managed to go way beyond the expectations of the ancient Hebrews.
Wow, we are better than the God of the Bible? Such arrogance. You can see it echo directly the things that are talked about in the book of Genesis with the Tower of Babel. That we're going to be up unto God. We're going to be where God is. We're going to be like God, just like Satan said in Genesis chapter 3. I think we're getting close to God's prophetic calendar winding down. And as you can see, the spirit of Antichrist, as the Bible says, is already in the world. This man who is known as the prophet, could he become the false prophet talked about in Revelation 13, which drives people to the worship of the Antichrist? Only time will tell.
I have to say that these WEF guys are just crazy. You know, it's time the masses wake up and realize that we have to do something before they really try to control and take over the world, force us to eat insects and those kind of things. Just do your research and look into these guys and what their manifestos are, and just see what they're planning for the world. Truly evil.
There was definitely cannibalism happening in the antebellum days. I recommend people checking out this book, The Delectable Negro. I shouldn't have done the chef kiss, but there's a part in the book that talks about the transatlantic slave trade and how white men on the ship would eat the black men on board. They would spend months out at sea and they would overpack the ship with enslaved people, knowing that they would lose cargo. Food had to be rationed, and sometimes they would get hungry enough to eat their cargo. The rumor of cannibalism was kind of quickly dismissed because America had to keep this image that they were a civilized society with all their guns and colonization. So yeah, white people did eat black people, and they try to hide that part of history, just like they threw our babies to the gators, or they had breeding farms all throughout the South.
The United States has bombed all of the following countries since World War II. To begin, we do not have to travel far. In Central America, the United States has bombed Panama, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Grenada, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba. Moving across the ocean to Africa, we have Libya, Sudan, and Somalia. In Europe, the list consists of former Yugoslavian countries, namely Serbia, Bosnia, Kosovo, and Montenegro. Next is the Middle East, where the US dropped bombs on Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Kuwait, Iran, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Moving to East Asia, we have Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Indonesia, Japan, and Korea. Finally, during the bombardment of Belgrade, a few bombs hit the Chinese embassy, so I've included China to the list as well. This is how the completed map looks like.
America is just that big bad bully on the block, just trying to bully everybody for no reason, actually.
What is it?
Okay, so here's how you're going to reset your brain for success. So let's say you've got a vision for your future, you've got a lot of aspirations, but you just don't know where to start. If that sounds like you, listen closely, because this is exactly what I do to achieve my goals. A lot of people think that they're lacking motivation or experience, but they're not. The main problem here is focus. And not just focus, this is deep laser focus. Deep focus is the key to success. You need to be so laser focused on the task you're doing that you enter the flow state. The flow state is where you achieve ultimate focus. You become fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement and enjoyment whilst performing an activity. It is an intrinsically positive experience. Okay, so how do you enter the flow state? The 1-90-0 method. You're going to focus on one task for 90 minutes with 0 distractions. This task that you're doing needs to be something that pushes you to the edge of your skill range, but not past it. It takes roughly 15 minutes to enter the flow state, and then after about 90 minutes, your focus is going to begin to fade. And any form of distraction is going to kill this laser beam focus, pulling you out of the flow state. So let's say the task, for example, is an assignment if you're at school, and if you're working on your business, let's say it's building a landing page. That's your one task, and now you're going to sit for 90 minutes with absolute 0 distractions. So you're going to put your phone on airplane mode, you're going to put your phone on do not disturb, you're going to sit in a quiet place where people aren't going to talk to you. You need to be completely focused on the task at hand.
That's the video, guys. Thank you for watching up to the very end. Click the like button, click the subscribe button if you feel inclined to. Thank you for supporting. I hope more of you can watch these videos so that we can awaken up the masses.